going on, guys? Today we're going to be learning how to adjust a front derailleur. What I've got here is I've got a bike I'm building, and we're going to be going through step by step on how to adjust the front derailleur. The first thing you want to do, you will want to remove the cable housing, and you want to have enough room to lightly put oil into the cable housing. You will want to do this for several seconds. I like to count to 15 on a fully housed cable. After lubricating it, you will install the housing back into the shifter. Check to make sure that this derailleur right here is about 3 millimeters from the top of the longest tooth. Now this derailleur is brand new and there's a little sticker on there, and you want those teeth to line up inside of the little drawing there. So this one looks good. We're going to keep the derailleur where it's at. If you need to raise it or lower it, you'll want to do it at this point. The next step here is we want to look at this derailleur from above, and we want to make sure that this cage right here lines up with the chainring down here. And you can quite clearly see that this is crooked because it's lining up with the ring up here but not down here. So we need to loosen the clamp on the derailleur, and we're just going to give it a little turn. That's a little bit too much. I'm going to tighten it down a little bit, and I'm going to shift the derailleur up just a little bit to see if it lines up with the chainring. I did overcompensate just a little bit, so we're going to realign it again, and I'm just going to shift up a little bit and make sure that it lines up with the chainring, and that is actually pretty good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this clamp down. Now after you tighten this clamp down, we are going to want to check the alignment again, and that does look good. So we've got the proper derailleur height, and now it's lined up. Let's go to the next step. The next step in this process is you want to locate the high and the low set screws on your derailleur. Now in this case, the one closest to the frame is actually the low set screw, and we're in first gear here. The chain is rubbing right here where my screwdriver is, so we're going to screw this in a little bit, and we're going to watch the front derailleur as it moves further and further away from the chain. We want it to be close but not actually touching. If your derailleur has an adjustment barrel for adjusting the cable, locate it and make sure it's turned in by turning it clockwise if you were to be facing it this way. Locate the clamping screw for the cable. Tighten the cable as much as you can with your finger, and then tighten the screw back down again. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start pedaling the bike, and then we're going to shift to the second gear and then the third gear. So we're going to shift up to 2. That shifted up quite nicely. I'm going to shift the rear derailleur to 8 in this case, and the chain is not rubbing there. That's good. We're going to shift up to the big ring, and so it has overshifted a little bit, so we need to adjust the limit screw in on the front derailleur. So you want to locate the high limit screw which is the little H right there, so that's going to be the furthest one from the frame. And we're going to start to screw that in. Alright, and it's nice and quiet. I don't hear any rubbing. Let's shift down to 2. That shifted quickly and easily. Let's go to 1. Okay. And we've got a little bit of rubbing there. Let's shift the rear. And you may need to shift the rear back and forth several times. Okay, it's rubbing a little bit there. And it's rubbing a little bit here. We will need to test ride the bike to see if we can hear that. So I'm going to shift this back and forth several times. Make sure that the sticker is still lined up, and it is. Okay. Third, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. We're going to finish this front derailleur adjustment off with a cap to keep the cable from fraying. And that's quite nice. This is your basic derailleur adjustment. The steps that we did was, 1, we made sure that the cable was working smoothly and it was lubricated properly. With the cable loose, we checked the height of the derailleur. The next step that we did was we checked to make sure that the derailleur was parallel with the chainring, meaning that it was the same, line, lined up with the ring. After that, we ended up adjusting the low limit screw to move the derailleur as close to the chain without rubbing. Then we tightened up the cable and we shifted up to second gear, making sure that the cage was very close to the chain without rubbing as much as possible. And then we shifted up to the high ring and we made sure that the chain shifted up but not too far. And then we put a cap on the cable to keep it from fraying. We're going to take this out for a test ride and we're going to do any fine tuning that we need to do, but that is basically all that there is. Low, medium, and high, you've got 3 gears to work with. Another way to look at it is with the first gear, that is going to be basically a limit screw adjustment. In the middle ring, there's no limit screw adjustments, it's all cable. And then the big ring, problem is with the big ring, it could be cable adjustments and it could be the limit screw adjustments. But if you do it in the steps that I was outlining here, I think you'll find that you will get a properly adjusted derailleur 9 out of 10 times. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a big thumbs up and please check out some other videos, and please subscribe here in the corner. But I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.